Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. We don't know when the album is coming out. We only know that we want to keep ourselves invested and inspired through a lot of stuff. So that might be setting up the photo shoot for the album or some artwork, but also look for other stories that keep us in touch with the lore of the album and the music itself. So that's why Ruth already uploaded hers about movies that do that trick, and I'm gonna show you some books today that might get you excited for the new era of Letters to the Moon. There's gonna be some Dutch, there's gonna be some English, there's gonna be some fun recommendations, but also some really heavy, taking me out of a book slump type of books. And there's gonna be some bonuses, especially if you like board games, then stay tuned. It's really hot today, so if my brain shuts off, bear with me. So for the first book recommendation, I don't know if, let me check if they have a title, because it's a series by Marissa Meyer, The Lunar Chronicles. You know, that's actually really fitting because Letters to the Moon, Lunar Chronicles. This is a series from, I believe, like 4 books, very thick books, YA. I'd say science fiction more than dystopian, though it has kind of that element to it because it's also a shift of systems and such, but it's science fiction meets fairy tales. So it also has a very heavy whimsy aspect to it, and every book is a new fairy tale with a new female lead. Very good chemistry. So I'd also recommend it because in the last book, every story gets tied to one another, and every book is a story on its own. So storytelling wise and chemistry wise, there's a lot of richness in this series. I think what draws me in the most when we talk about the new album might be the female leads, because our album has that too, and a bit of almost like the color scheme. So it's half of it takes place in space, and our album takes place on an island, not in space, but also not like on land. So like the nature and the descriptions of what everything looks like really gives me that feel of our album. I might even say that it could take place in the same universe. And again, if you thrive on chemistry, you will thrive on the chemistry. Then I have another series which I'm reading right now, so I couldn't honestly tell you what it's about exactly, but it's a very popular series. I'd say it's more well known than the other series I mentioned. It's also in English, it's also YA by Stephanie Garber, I believe. It's the Caraval series. I have a beautiful, very expensive set of all the books. It's also about an island, just like our album, and it has a lot of descriptions of the nature and like the atmosphere, and in a way that's also quite original, just as the Lunar Chronicle series. So you really step into a new sort of world, which I like. Like some crazy stuff is happening in this book, and that's the point of this book. So you constantly, every sentence keeps you hooked. So I'd say it's mainly plot driven. I don't know if I like the characters that much. However, if you thrive on chemistry, you will thrive on the chemistry, just to let you know. But there's just a lot of magic, but it's magic realism. So it's like, what is true? Is this true? And the plot otherwise, it's about a game on an island. And I really can't tell you more than that, but I feel like that's also, even if I read it, that's also the only thing I would say to you. Otherwise, I might spoil it. Very easy to read if you're having trouble with reading, if you're like in a phase of not reading that much, or if you're in a reading slump. So the next books is also a series. It's the Narnia series. But I'm gonna give you 2 books that I didn't read. I didn't read Narnia, but my husband did, and he said that those 2 specifically focused on the pirates aspect of our new album and also the new world. And so one is with portals and kind of trippy journey of the mind and time and traveling to other worlds, in which you can also read about the creation of Narnia, which to me sounds very exciting. And the other book is heavy on the pirate aspect. If you like the Prince Caspian movie, then I'd say read that one. We all know Narnia is super fun to watch. Another book That's also English, but not a series. It's a standalone. Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I didn't think it was a great book, but I really remembered the atmosphere or like the magic system. I think I was just not in love with the character, but the world itself was really interesting. It's about just people, but that are witches, and they're witches taking care of the nature. So they're all nature witches, and they're all tasked with a season. And with that season, you have certain powers, and it's set in the real world. So these witches used to work together with humans to take care of Mother Earth. And the aspect of that thing being forgotten really has similarities with our album lore, where there is a power in a certain belief or magic, and that's been lost. And now we need to find it back, see that it's still useful and very good for you to have and hold on to. So it's really about the message of magic, or like dreaming or power or creativity, whatever that feels lost in your life, and getting that spark back. Otherwise, it's fun seasonal vibe, so I'd pick it up at any season, but especially maybe in September-ish. Yeah, sort of a very fun book, just not a great character, but also really unique in its magic system and world. Now I'm gonna mention some books that I haven't read, or it's not a typical reading book, that are mostly in Dutch, but fun for the vibes and like feel like a quick trip on a pirate ship in the sky or on the sea. So it's good for a one day or like a beach read, or nostalgic, or just a great collector's item. There's one Dutch series with great titles. I don't know that it's Dutch. I have it in Dutch. I think it's French. I'll show them to you right now, and you see the titles are great for this album. And it kind of has this Treasure Planet vibes, or like Geronimo Stilton. I didn't have any copies of those, but I would recommend those as well. It's like short adventures. There's a heavy adventure aspect in our album. I also have some fairy tale books that I'm gonna show you. I might also suggest a trip to the Efteling, and I'd say fairy tales are good to read, not in the sense that we have a lot of whimsy in our album. Different generations know about the legends, and they continue to tell each other about it. So storytelling wise, you could say it's a fairy tale. And for me specifically, I'd read Sam's Scanviske. They have great adventure stories in every sort of mood. I haven't read all of them, but it's mostly about the vibes and the adventure aspect of it, and the niche sort of adventure. So yeah, pick those up in this hot weather. And then I'm gonna continue with some special bonus recommendations that are not YA series, YA standalones, or like comics, but stuff that you don't actually have to read, except how you play the game. Okay, so I'm a huge board game fan, because I don't always have the mental space to read. Games are pretty close to, get distracted and get inside a world. Great stories. For my hyper focus people, I would recommend some puzzles. I don't know the brands, but they have a lot of great puzzles from like 1,000, and I'd recommend the King Arthur one and the Grimm's Fairy Tales one. But it's such a whimsy aesthetic, and it's such you don't feel like you're puzzling in like a boring way. It's more like a sort of quest. Yeah, it's good for the brain, and it's a beautiful puzzle. Then I have two games that are quite easy to play. I think with 2 to 4 people. You don't have to be a big board game fan, because I'd hardly say they are board games. They're not as complex as what I mostly play. They're called Odd Shop and Celestia. The Odd Shop is a game that revolves around trading magic stuff, products, weird animals, or like beautiful clothes, or like sort of things that hold power. And it really icks the collector part of your brain. Like you feel like you're buying the stuff, and it's so whimsy and fun and mysterious, and it's a really quick game and easy to explain to other people, so you can do it together. And I recommend this one because literal objects in our lore that have a lot of meaning, people trade with it, so highly recommend that one. Yeah, Celestia is sort of pirate ship that goes into the sky, and you have to decide if you want to stay on the ship or not, because there might be storms, there might be costs or people you don't like. It's a fun game. I'm still not sure if I'm playing it right because it's almost too easy. It's really fun to see the aspect of being in the sky with and travel through the sky in this game that also is in our album and in our story. Yeah, so I recommend that also. It's less a card game, more a board game, but not like a huge board. And the puzzles are just fun for the almost like seeing the world in sort of bird view. I have one music recommendation, one vinyl specifically. It's from Birdie. It's the Young Heart album. It has a lot of voyagey lyrics to it and a lot of whimsy, a lot of feminine, a lot of darkness, a lot of introspectiveness. So I highly recommend that album to put on when you're like either reading or doing the board game or reading the comics that I just recommended you. I hope you have some free time this summer to check this stuff out. Stay tuned, and if you haven't done already, if we're speaking about lore, check out the personality quiz to find out which character you are in our story. And then I think that's it, and I'll leave you guys to it.
The Pirates Gospel, you'll find us clap. The Pirates Gospel, oh. Yo ho,